Hey everybody, Nostalgic Recall here, and just recently I went to 3 thrift stores. Let's check them out, shall we? Alright, so the first one is Level Up Games. So over here you can see some Super Nintendo games here, and a few reproduction boxes and some original boxes too. And you got a bunch of NES stuff over here. I don't have a big enough NES collection yet, but I am planning on getting some games. Of course, I'm recording this after the video because all the background noise and possibly copyrighted music playing in the store. So I'm just placing my own music instead. Well, it's not made by me, but it's Earthworm Jim music. Anyways, here's some Super Nintendo games. There's a really unique black SNES cartridge there. And over there, you got some Sega Genesis games, and I see some Sega Genesis cartridges that look different than what I remember. Not the ones I'm showing right now, but it was the ones right above. There you got Sega CD, Saturn, Master System, a few Dreamcast, stuff like that. And some reproduction controllers, manuals, magazines, stuff like that. GameCube stuff, it's pretty lacking there though. Nintendo 64 games, a few manuals and reproduction boxes, and stuff like that, with a few custom end labels, controllers, reproductions, some little figures there, and over here are the PlayStation games, and as you can see, they got a pretty big selection. There's also other games on the other side as well, which I will show. If there's any games you're interested in, or if you want to see all the games, you can feel free to pause the video. I really don't mind. So here's some other PlayStation games. I don't have too many PlayStation 1 games. I wish I had more, but I have stuff like Crash Bandicoot 2 and stuff like that. Anyways, over here are the consoles. You got stuff like GameCube. It's a custom sticker, it looks like, on it. Wii, PlayStation, Nintendo stuff. And over here, some PSP, Game Boy stuff, other PlayStation stuff, and games that are generally higher value. And some little decorations and posters. And over here is another thrift store. This is James Games and More. This one's one of my favorites of the three. I really like the entrance. I really like all the little figures and stuff. They got stuff from the original Xbox. As you can see, it's pretty massive. Xbox 360, PlayStation. I really like the little logos they made in front of the shelves. I really like that. It has a pixelated kind of look. I really like that. I wish I had those in my room. Maybe I can find some online or something. So yeah, if there's any games you're interested in or just want to see, just feel free to pause the video. Yeah, I got a PS2. Believe it or not, I never had a PS2 growing up. I know that's hard to believe, but because considering everybody's had one. I grew up with the GameCube and original Xbox and stuff like that. And over here you can see Game Boy, and over here is NES stuff. I did pick up stuff here as well as in the previous store. At the end of the video, I will show you what I got. Anyways, here are some more NES games there. I did get one game here, one NES game, and here's Game Boy Advance. I think I have plenty of Game Boy Advance, but pretty good amount. Super Nintendo. I really like those shelves. It makes me wish I had shelves like that. And I really love that pixelated logo. I really love that. We got a whole bunch of Super Nintendo stuff here. Oh yeah, there's a big Nintendo 64 logo. I wish I could take that with me, but unfortunately it's part of the store. And there's a little Mario repair thing. Nintendo 64. I like how they put the logo in front of the N. I really like that. And a lot of these Nintendo 64 games have custom labels, but they are authentic games. And there's a bunch of GameCube compared to the last store that we went to. It's actually a much better selection, to be honest. And here, Wii, I think that's Sega Genesis or Game Gear or something. Dreamcast, not as big, but they got a pretty good selection. Sega CD and Saturn. More Wii, of course. GameCube, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, original Nintendo, some plushes, and here's some of their consoles they have. They have PlayStations and stuff like that. They pretty much have everything in this store, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, and I also did get a console here. I will show you what I got. And by the way, this is CNC Games. I like their logo. This is the final store I went to, and I really like the entrance. I like the little arcade table there, and the Mario and Sonic and stuff like that. The Pikachu and the guy with the gun or whatever the head is. You got some arcade cabinets. They're actually for sale, but they costed pretty much an arm and a leg. So and plus I couldn't hold them in my car, so yeah. There was no way I would take one of those things home. Plus, it would be loud. There's some mats, giant reproduction posters, more mats. I really like the Mario with the shoe and the Sonic and the Super Nintendo mat. I really like that. Xbox, more reproduction controllers. To be honest, CNC Games is probably my favorite of the three. It's the biggest store. I really like those little mini arcade things. Those are pretty cool. Retrons, I never had any of those. They're unlicensed, of course, but I know some people who've had them. And there's a little Sonic bag, which is pretty cool. It's inspired by the old games. And there's a bunch of stuff there. Plushes, original Xbox. I don't know what a few PlayStation 2 games were doing inside that shelf, but bunch of Xbox controllers and PlayStation, a whole bunch of Nintendo 64 games. Now the ones in this selection were pretty because most of them were sports games, but there are some games in there that are definitely worth it. They even got imports and stuff, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, their Dreamcast selection was very, very small, but they had a huge PlayStation collection here. Although a lot of the games are sports games. I've never really been into sports games. And over here we got Atari games, which we did not see at the other stores. And that's pretty cool. My dad had an Atari growing up, and he had a friend that would borrow his games and would never bring them back to him. I won't say who for privacy reasons. And over there is some Nintendo stuff. Whole bunch of it too. Got some Wii stuff. GameCube. I did pick up a few games here, definitely. I think I got quite a bit here. There's some controllers. Some of them are reproduction, third-party accessories, DS stuff. I didn't pick up any DS games though. I wasn't really in the market for them at the moment. There's some Game Boy Advance there. There's a whole bunch of them. Original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, stuff like that. If you want to see the games, feel free to pause, like I said before. And you got a bunch of consoles there. Whole bunch of stuff, which is pretty cool. And you got Sega Genesis cases, and they have a lot of Genesis games, I gotta say, and some of the earlier ones too. You got Game Gear, stuff like that. Original Nintendo. Can't forget about Mario and Duck Hunt, of course. And those are the more higher priced games here. And a whole bunch of stuff there, including the rare Pikachu Nintendo 64. Those usually go for a lot. And they actually had a couple. And here's some more higher priced games with some imports and more loose discs and these posters. I really love the Super Mario World one, because Super Mario World was the first Mario game I ever played, and it always will be my favorite ever. Giant game cartridges. And some plushes, and stuff like that. And what's over here? Oh yeah, looks like some figures and stuff, pop figures. I don't really collect those. PlayStation stuff. I don't really get stuff for modern consoles or anything. I'm usually more into the retro stuff. Alright guys, as I'm recording this video, I am now home. I deeply apologize for my carpet. I need to get it cleaned. But anyways, I want to show you the stuff I got. I got quite a lot of stuff, and let me just tell you, it wasn't exactly cheap, but I think it was all worth it. So I got an NES game, which is the first thing I got. It is DuckTales by Capcom. I've heard a lot of people talking about this game and how great it was, and for a while I thought, hey, maybe I should give it a try. So I picked it up and I played it, and I was able to complete it without getting a game over. It took a while, but I figured it out, and I was able to master the game after a while. And let me say, it's a pretty charming platformer. It's not exactly the longest game, obviously, because this is an NES game, but hey, it's great. I really love the animations and everything, and the gameplay is fun. I like finding all those secrets and everything. There's probably some secrets I still haven't found yet. I heard there's a remake of this game. I might get it on my computer, or my modern computer or something. Might try it out someday, at least, if it's still up. But anyways, let's get on to the next things I got. I got 4 Super Nintendo games. I know it's quite a bit, so I'm gonna show you what I got. I got Earthworm Jim for the Super Nintendo. Now, this isn't exactly the most loved version of the game. Most people say the Genesis version is like a million times better, and to be honest, I do have to agree. This version is missing quite a bit of stuff that the Sega Genesis one has. For example, this one's missing a level, a lot of sound effects, and the sound effects don't sound as good, in my personal opinion. But the version I will always like the most is the PC version of the game, not the DOS version. I mean the Windows version of the game. So anyways, here's some more Super Nintendo games I got. This is the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. So you have Donkey Kong Country 2, and 3. I know the label on 3 isn't really the best, but hey, the game works. So, and I know what game I'm playing, and I can see the label, of course. So yeah. So those are all the 4 Super Nintendo games I got, and I got a Nintendo 64 game as well, Dr. Mario 64. Now, I've always loved Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario has been a puzzle game I've been pretty good at. I can play through a game. I can pretty much play through a session in maybe like an hour or two. I'm that good. But I don't think you guys would want to see a whole 2 hour marathon of me just playing one round of Dr. Mario. um, but okay, next, I got some two GameCube games. I got the Fairly Odd Parents Shadow Showdown for the GameCube. I've played through this game, and it's all right. I mean, it's definitely not the best game I've played, but um, I mean, the art style looks very much like the original show. It carries the same humor that you expect from the show. But one thing that really bothered me about the game is how short it was. I felt like this game was shorter than the last one, but that's understandable because I've heard this game only took like a couple months to make. But but all the improvements they done were really nice, like getting rid of the life system from the previous the prequel. The prequel game had lives, and they removed that from this game. And the next GameCube game I got is Mario Party 6. Now, this box art cover is reproduction, so that's why the box art looks a little dark, but it has the game inside it, and as of now, I have all the Mario Party games on the GameCube, and this one was not cheap, I'll tell you that, but I I just knew I had to get it. I mean, it was sitting right there on the shelf. I mean, I can't just go and be like, nah. So I just went ahead and got it. All right, so the final few things I got um, is a new console, and it is a Sega Dreamcast. I've always debated on whether I should get a Sega Dreamcast or not. One of my friends got one in the last few months, and he loves the heck out of it. It had a custom shell on it, but this one's got its actual shell on it. But he loves that thing. He loves all the games on it and stuff, and he told me that it's really great, underrated, and I do agree. And I only got one game for it, but hopefully I'll get some more games soon. And the game I got for it is Rayman 2: The Great Escape. Now I know the disc has the little, like a torn out barcode on the front, but that I can probably get that off, obviously. But the back of the disc is pretty much mint. But funny enough, this disc is not the one I got at the store. Now the one I got at the store, I have a pretty interesting story about that. You see, while I was playing through the game, every time I got past this one part in a particular level, I would get an error, like the game would error and send me back to the Dreamcast menu. And I didn't know what was going on, so I thought, oh, maybe the game just glitched. So I tried playing it again, and it messed up at the exact same spot. So I was uh I was just thinking, well, there must be something wrong with this disc, maybe. So I uh I asked my friend if I could borrow his copy, and he said that was fine. And this is his copy. He said I could just have it because he found another copy for a really good deal. And I tried his disc, and the problem did not happen. And I'm really happy about that, and I'm really grateful that he did that because he knows how much I love Rayman 2: The Great Escape. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. The Dreamcast version is heavily considered the best version of the game. I never completed it yet, but so far it's pretty good. I'll tell you that. Um, and in case you're wondering, yes, I did get the controller too. But yeah, I got a Sega Dreamcast, and I'm very happy to have it. And wasn't cheap, but I got it, and that makes me very, very happy. So yeah, that's all the stuff I got. And so anyways, I guess that'll be the end of this video here. I hope you enjoyed all the thrift store tours I showed. And if you saw any games on the shelves or something you were interested in, you can talk to me in the comments and stuff, and tell me about some games that you liked growing up, and stuff like that. Also, I would like to also know if any of you ever had a Dreamcast growing up or currently own one, and what your favorite games are for the system. I would really like to know. That would probably help me decide what games to get for it. And but anyways, I guess that'll do it for this video. So anyways, I guess I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.